Hi guys, it is that time of year again for the end of the year book tag, end of the year book review, like everything that I've read this year so far. I'm not gonna go over like individual comics that I've read because that would just take forever, but I am including comic books that I read, like compilations of and like volumes and stuff like that. And I'm going to show it to you on my iPad, like the cover of the thing, because if I show you like every single thing that I read, it's going to take me forever and I don't want to put it back on my bookshelf. But for 2023, I definitely read a lot more than I did in 2022. And it's funny because one of my resolutions for this year was to not feel like pressured to read so much. And I literally did the opposite. I read like double what I did last year. But we're gonna start off, I'm gonna go chronologically as to how I read these books. So the first one, and yeah, like I said, I'm considering like a full volume of a comic book, a book. Like, I'm considering it a book. So the first one is Justice League by Scott Snyder. This is book one, the deluxe edition. The artwork in this is so good. I am a huge fan of it. Maybe I should brighten it a little bit more. I am a huge fan of this artwork. I actually bought the hardcover of this. So that was really good, and I love the story as well. And then I read Injustice Gods Among Us Year 1, the complete collection. This one was really good. That's the cover for that. That one I got at Barnes & Noble. I literally remember that day that I went to go get that. And then I read Intruders, The Incredible Visitations at Copley Woods by Bud Hopkins. This one was very good to start off the new year with extraterrestrial hypnosis. This one was probably my favorite book of the entire year, right next to Magnolia Parks. This one is Just by Looking at Him by Ryan O'Connell. This book, I wish I could reread it again for the first time, and I will probably reread it again. I don't know when, but I have to, because this is just perfection. This book was so good, and I can't wait for it to be a movie or a show. I forgot what it's going to be. And then I read Justice by Alex Ross. This is like the deluxe edition. His artwork is the best. I wish and hope and pray that I can hire him or someone in Marvel to make a comic book out of one of my books. So the next one was From Fear to Love by Donna Lynn. This is another extraterrestrial story. I believe I did a review on that. I did a review on a lot of these, but you can just check it out on my channel. Another compilation was Midnighter by Steve Orlando and a ton of other people. This one's a complete collection. This one I bought in person. This one was really good. I liked this one a lot. And then I read The Wife's Stalker by Constantine. I had seen this one at Barnes & Noble and I was like, I need to get it, because I was kind of in the mood for like a psychological thriller, like a revenge type of thriller. And so I read this one and it was so good. Some of the writing is a little bit cheesy, but very little. Like overall the story was really good and I loved it. I wish this could be a movie. The next one I read was Good Rich People by Eliza Jane Brazier. Honestly, I never did a review on this one because I did not like it. I felt like nothing happened, to be honest. Like this is one of the books I was reading after my wisdom teeth surgery, like while I was healing, and this just was not it. Like I wish, but I did read it all. I just wish that it was like I had more of a point to it, and it didn't. The next one that I read was the one that really changed my life. Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. Let me zoom it in. This book is very ingrained in my brain now and in my life. Thanks to Jessa Hastings, this book was probably top 2 of the whole year. I would say Just by Looking at Him was number 1, to be honest. Like I really loved it that much. And then the next thing I read was A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Is it Maas or Maas? I'm not sure, but I think it's Maas. If I'm wrong, I am sorry. But I don't know how. This book, I read it in like 6 hours in one sitting. Like, I woke up one morning and I was like, I'm gonna read this, and then 6 hours later I finished it. And then I read Daisy Haites by Jessa Hastings. This cover has to be one of the most like unique covers I've ever seen in a book. It's just like very different. It's not my favorite because there's like so much going on, but I do have to say props to her for being bold about putting guns next to Jesus Christ crucified. So I'll give her lots and lots of points for being bold enough to do that. And then I read The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. Is it Sager or Sager? I'm not sure. But this one was very, very good. I did enjoy this one so much, and I'm glad I have the hardcover of it because I don't know why. Just like it feels more appropriate for this book. But yeah, I really liked that one. I love the metaphysical twist. Sorry to spoil it for you, but and then I read A Court of Mist and Fury, the next book of the ACOTAR series. And then I said in my review for this book that it reminded me a lot of The Magicians, the show. Just like, I don't know, just like a lot of things about it. And then one of the scenes in here reminded me of Percy Jackson a lot. But I just miss the show The Magicians so much. I want to rewatch it all, but like, I'd rather spend that time watching like a new show. But then it's like, so many new shows right now are like horrible. So it's like, I don't know what to do. And then I read Infinite Frontier. This one was the whole collection of all the issues of this one. The artwork and the story of this one I really liked. Just the artwork is so good. I love it. Then I have the hardcover of this one. I saw someone do a review on it and I was like, instantly buy, like instantly purchase. Then I read Film for Her by Orion Carloto. This one was really very decent, very cute. I don't think I did a review on this, but it's very like a Tumblr vibes in a book. I want to do a book like that, but I feel like it's too, not pretentious, but like, I don't know. I want to do something like that, but I just don't know. Like, I need to get a really good camera first before I do that, or like a Fujifilm one. Then I read My Dark Romeo. A lot of people have been viewing this video of mine, and I guess the book is like trending or something. This one's by Parker S. Huntington and LJ Shen. I love this cover a lot more than the cover with the male model in it, even though I like both, but this one is just like so the vibe. It has nothing to do with what's on the cover, by the way. It's just a pretty cover, literally. And then the next book I read was The Long Way Home. Magnolia Park's The Long Way Home by Jessa Hastings. That's this one. If you've read this book, you know why this book completely ruined you. But it was amazing. And then I started to get into the Annihilation series, or the Southern Reach trilogy. So this is book 2. I started with book 2, Authority by Jeff Vandermeer, because I had already read Annihilation a couple years ago, and I had completely forgot what happened in Annihilation in the novel. So I was like, why don't I just try something new? I read the second one. I enjoyed it. It was very different. And then I read Acceptance, the third book in the trilogy, and then this one was very unique, very different as well. And then I read this one really quick, The Co-Creation Formula by Ramin Sultanov, How to Create Your Life with the Universe. I am completely butchering his name, so sorry. But that one was pretty interesting. I do not practice the formula anymore, unfortunately, but that was really good though. And then I read Annihilation because I was like, wait, I need to reread this. But I read it in I reread Annihilation, not in this cover, but I read it in the whole single book that comes with all the 3 books in it. The one that has the X in it, the one that I did a video on. I don't know why I didn't include it in the photos here, but that's the one. But yeah, I love the covers for the Annihilation series. This one has to be the best. It is just so cool, and it looks like a face hugger from Alien. But yeah, that trilogy is so good, and I can't wait for him to come out with book 4, hopefully next year, by the end of next year. I'm literally dying for it, and because he's been teasing us on Twitter for like 3 or 4 years now that it's coming, that he's writing it. And it's like, take your time, honestly, like take all the time you need, but like make sure it's perfect and amazing if we're waiting this long. So it's not a trilogy anymore, it's like a series now, I guess. Now I read Jesus and the Essenes by Dolores Cannon. This one is probably my longest video on my YouTube channel. Or actually, I don't know. I think I have longer videos. I think maybe DNA in the Sands of Time is longer. But this one was really, really good if you believe in, or actually even if you don't believe in reincarnation or past life regression, you should read it. And then I had read this book. I had read like up to 170 of this book when I had the hardcover, and then I returned it because I didn't like it. But then several years later, I saw the paperback at Barnes & Noble and with this cover, and I was like, oh my god, I really, really like this cover more than the hardcover. It's just like very, very cool, very something that I would definitely do for myself, for my own book. And this is by P.J. Vernon, by the way. It's a thriller. It's a gay thriller. And I don't really feel like there's a lot of gay thrillers, at least not ones that are popular, or I don't think this is popular either, but this I found myself, not through Book Talk or TikTok. This is not on Book Talk at all, as far as I know. But I thought this was very good. I gave it a second chance, and I'm glad I did because I really enjoyed it after I pushed past the section that I didn't like. And then I read Sailor Proof. I had seen this at Barnes & Noble. This is by Annabeth Albert. I had seen this at Barnes & Noble when I was looking at the romance books, and I was like, that cover sold me. So I just think it's really, really cool. I like the tones. And for once, I think this is a cover where I feel like having a person on the cover might not be so cringe or cheesy. There's a way to do it. Like there's a way to, with lighting and the tones and the editing of the finalized picture, I think there's a way to make it good so that your front cover could look timeless, even with a photo of a face of someone. Because a lot of the times it ages very badly and it looks very cheap and it just looks very like fanfic-y, you know. The next one I read was My Husband by Maud Ventura, translated by Emma Ramadan. This book is psychotic, kind of, in an internal psychological way. I don't know how to explain it, but this is definitely one to read if you have the patience. But I really liked this one a lot. It was very, very interesting. And I think it was made for certain people, not for everyone. Then I read Secret Journey to Planet Serpo Can't Talk, a true story of interplanetary travel by Len Kasten. I think you guys liked this video too because it has quite a number of views, more than most of my videos. That's what I'm comparing it to. But I guess everyone likes this one. It was a very enjoyable read. This was also an even more enjoyable read by the same author, Len Kasten, Dark Fleet, the Secret Nazi Space Program and the Battle for the Solar System. This one is if you want to know a lot of the secrets and a lot of the conspiracies. And I'm so glad I read it. It was perfect timing. Then I read Daisy Haites, The Great Undoing by Jessa Hastings, which caused my great undoing, might I add, because the next Magnolia Parks book doesn't come out till February. And sometime in January, I'm going to have to pre-order it. Or when it comes out, I'm going to have to order it because I want the traditional cover, not the new covers that are completely hideous. Next is Avengers Assemble. I read this one. I didn't even know what this was about. I just bought the collection and it was pretty good. Then I read this one, Facing the Shadow, Embracing the Light, but A Journey of Spirit Retrieval and Awakening by Niara Tsarila Isley. I think I'm pronouncing her name right or wrong, I'm not sure. This one was very interesting. Like I said in my review for this, it got to be very repetitive, very wordy. A lot of the stuff in the book did not have to be in the book repeated a million times. But other than that, I am truly sorry that she went through the military abductions that she did. And it is just really hard to read something like this, but I got through it and I expected what I read. But I just wish there was more of what I thought the book was going to be about. And then I read Dune by Frank Herbert. Finally, like I have been putting this off forever. But what made me read it was this cover, honestly. I saw someone on YouTube have this and I was like, I immediately need it. And I think I'm gonna read book 2, honestly, before part 2 comes out in the theaters in March. Then I read The Montauk Project, Experiments in Time by Preston B. Nichols and Peter Moon. This one was, I read this one in like 2 hours or like 3 hours, something like that. This is very, very short, so that's not a shocker. This one's very good. I might read the second book next year. I'm not sure, but I'm just not sure about that one. And then I read I'm a Fan, but my cover's different. My cover's the green one. I just couldn't get a high definition version of it. This one is by Sheena Patel. This is a very experimental type of book. And what I mean by that is like the writing is very experimental. The chapters are very unique. The whole premise of this book is very unique and not like your average normal book. Especially because nobody pretty much has a name. And it's just like kind of all over the place. But I kind of enjoyed it in a way. It kind of broke a lot of barriers. So I'll give her props to that. And then I read Drawn Together, Illustrated True Love Stories by Olivia de Ricat. I am so sorry. I am so sorry for butchering your name. But it's this one. This one is so, so cute. I love it so much and I love the illustrations. And then I read Self-Love for Small Town Girls by Lang Liav. That is how you pronounce her last name, okay? I know it sounds like it could be Leave, but it's Liav. She has said it before in multiple videos, so I know that to be true. This one was good. I feel like what's hard with being a poet like her, I think she's pretty famous in the poetry world, I'm not sure. But her and Michael Faude, I forgot how to pronounce his name too. I forgot how to pronounce his name for sure. But he's the one that started with Dirty Pretty Things. That one really got me into like modern poetry. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like the publishers maybe make them come out with these books every year, just out of like a contract or whatever. And I feel like a lot of the magic has kind of gone. There's still a lot of amazing poems in here, but I feel like a lot of them are very like half-assed. I don't know, just like honestly, it seems to me that way, but I don't know, it might not even be true. As like the first books that she came out with, like Lullabies and Love and Misadventures, those are really, really good. And I have all of those and I'm so glad that I do. And I will never sell them and I will never get rid of those. Those are like gems that I'm keeping forever. Then I read Delicate Condition by Danielle Valentine. And this is the one that American Horror Story, what's it called? American Horror Story Delicate is based off of. And we still have yet to find out what the ending is, and who knows when that's coming back up. But that's this. The cover is very unique. It kind of gives me like New Moon vibes from Stephanie Meyer, but like in a dark, gothic, witchy way. And it's definitely because of the flower, obviously. And then I read something I've been wanting to read for a while, The Ascension Chronicles, Spheres of Influence. This is by Corey Good, or Goodman. I think his name is Corey Good. But I was watching him on, where was I watching him on actually? I forgot where I was seeing clips of him, but I always saw clips of him talking about military abduction and things like that. And then I knew I had to read this and it was very, very enjoyable, very good, very interesting. I actually did learn a lot of new things with this book. And where is book 2, Corey? We need book 2 now. Like, I know this has been out for a while now, so send us that book 2 because we need it and we want it. And then I read Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. Obviously the cover has been on my mind for like a year or like a year and a half now, however long this book has been around. Everyone's talking about it. I knew it was gonna be boring from the moment everyone said it was like literary fiction. And then I started reading it, like fully committed reading it. And then this got me obsessed into Super Mario Brothers again. This got me obsessed into playing games again on my Switch and just being, not that I wasn't before, but it just propelled me a little bit further to enjoy playing games. And yeah, I just really liked this and enjoyed the uniqueness of it. And then like I said in my video about this, I think it belongs in that genre of like young adult, new adult, where it's like, It's giving like Fault in Our Stars vibes, everything vibes, that era. You know what I'm talking about. I feel like it belongs there. And then I read Never by Jessa Hastings, which I think was two book reviews ago. Like I said in my video, I hate Peter Pan, and now I really hate Peter Pan because of this book. I only read it because of the author, and I wanted to support her, and I knew that her writing was going to be great. The writing was great. Like the lyrical writing of hers is great and phenomenal, but I can still not like the story, and I can still not like Wendy or Hook or Peter Pan, or frankly any character in this book was not likable, honestly. And don't get mad at me, Jessa, but that doesn't mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, I think she's cool enough to know that I don't have to like anybody in this story for me to like the writing of it. It's just like such a weird place that she put me in, because I don't think I've ever said this about any book, that I love the writing but I don't like the story at all, or the characters. So how is that possible? I have no idea, and I'm still trying to figure that out. And then the last thing that I read so far was A Hypnotist's Journey to Atlantis by Sarah Breskman Cosme, and this one was so good. I love that she's taking after Dolores Cannon, and I watched a lot of her Gaia interviews after reading this, and she is definitely taking up after Dolores, and she mentioned that she feels like Dolores Cannon is pushing her to from the other side to finish this work and have people be awakened to this information. And I feel like she is speaking truth, and I feel like everyone that is doing hypnosis or anything Dolores Cannon QHHT related is being pushed and guided by her to reveal all of this knowledge, because it is time now more than ever for all of these secrets and all of the what people think are conspiracies to be released out into the public, and for people to stop being asleep and open up their minds. I just wish everybody on BookTube and Book Talk would be reading those kind of books, and not just fiction and fantasy and things like that. This is what I'm reading right now, Marriage for One by Ella Mays. I think I'm pronouncing her name right. But this is really good. I'm on page 320 right now. There's like 500 pages total. I'm not gonna finish this. Well, I'm gonna finish this before the end of the year, duh. But I am not gonna put a review or video of this before the year's over. Probably like after the year is over. Maybe sometime the first week of January I'll do a review on this. Because I do want to talk about this book a little bit. I do have a couple things to say about it, but I'm enjoying it so far. Sarah Caroli made me want to read that one a lot, and I have been wanting to read it for a couple months now, and I'm glad I finally am able to fill it into my schedule. Okay, so that was the end of that for the year. I read about 40, I wrote it down here. All those books I mentioned, I read, let's see. I read 42 books in 2023. So let's see how many I read. In 2022, I read 22. I think I read 22 books in 2022. So that just shows that I literally read double. So that is the end of the year book tag. But I kind of wanted to mention, just very briefly, the books that I started but did not finish. And then I just feel like, yeah, I feel like it's important to mention them. I don't know why. I just feel like I need to. So I'm going to mention them right now. So there's a lot more too that I literally don't have in my possession anymore. But these are just some of them. But there is so many more books that I started and just did not finish, just because like I couldn't get hooked on them. So these books that I'm going to mention, well, actually, I'm going to talk about them individually. So this is The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. I thought this was going to be something different. I got to page like, I don't know, 70 or 80. And then I like stopped reading it. I lost interest. But this one, I have a feeling that I could probably get back on and maybe finish it if I'm like attracted to it. I don't know. I just have to like keep reading it and figure it out. But this one is a maybe that I might read again, or might try to finish reading. This one, my favorite person, my favorite person that's not in my social circle, let's just say, posted this, and I immediately Googled it. I think this was back in like October, and I was like, oh my god, that book looks so cool. So I started reading it, and I did not finish it, but I still have it because it's just really, really cool and really cute. It's Wishcraft by Shauna Cummins. I don't know how to say her name, but that's that. And it's basically just how to manifest through saying wishes. But I did not finish that, by the way. And I don't know if I'm gonna actually fully read that. I think I know how to manifest by now, so I don't feel like I need that. And then this book was insanely popular. I literally have it still on my bookshelf because the cover and like the feeling of the cover of the whole book actually is just so beautiful. And the version I got is like the one that's more pigmented in color from Amazon. It's a different publishing house than the one that's sold at Barnes & Noble. So the one at Barnes & Noble is like a very faded blue, and then the one that I have is like a very sky blue, like a very pigmented sky blue. So there are two different versions, but the one I have is the best version, I promise you. It's Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. I think I got to page like 100 of this, and I'm like, I'm not really into the story, but like I want to be into the story because I enjoy like the vibe of this book. I enjoy, not the vibe of the story, but the vibe of the physical book. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you do. So that one, I don't know if I'm gonna actually reread again. I mean, I don't know if I'm actually going to try finishing it, but I don't know. There's so many other books that I want to read. And then I started reading, I think I got to page maybe like 40 or 50 of this one, maybe like page 60, Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. This cover is so beautiful. Like, I love this so much, and the artist is just like the best. Like, I love this artwork so much. This one's really good. It's just, I don't know, it feels kind of like, I'm not fully hooked, but I want to be though. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want to really like it, but I just don't. And so I might attempt to try to finish reading it, so I don't know. Oh my god, you guys. I read like almost 200 pages of this book. Oh my god. And I loved it. Honestly, I do love it. And I love the writing. It was very captivating and very good, very well written. A crazy story, nonetheless. However, when you mention all these drugs, I'm not even going to name them, but when you mention all these drugs and how often you do them, how are you not dead yet? Like, legitimately, how is she not dead yet? Like, I am so confused at how much drugs she's done. According to this book, I am so confused how she's not dead yet, or at least very sick. Down the Drain by Julia Fox. Like I said, I love it, and I loved it. I enjoyed reading it. But the mentioning of so many drugs, like every other page, just got to me, and it's just like, I can't do this anymore. Like, it's very lowering my vibe, honestly. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it ended great. That one I'm not gonna try to read at all. But what I did read was very good. I know it's her life, like I know it's her memoir, but still, like, that doesn't mean I have to love reading about drugs, you know what I mean? It's a very brave and bold story that she wrote on paper. And then I got this one. This one is just a coffee table book. And then there's actually more coffee table books that I didn't even bother to mention here. But this one's called Delicious Places by, the brand is Gestalten. This one has beautiful restaurants inside, and this one I just skimmed through it. Looks like that. It's very pretty, very chic. And then I read, not like the actual words, but I finished looking at all the photos of this one. This one's basically the art of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. This one was really cool. And then I really like this fan art too. Can you see that? So cool, I love it. So cool. And then my ring light looks like a little portal. Oh, and then I also have this. This is completely besides the point, but look at this like fan art that someone did. That is so sick. Missed opportunity from Marvel. Like, look at how cool that looks if like Wanda had thrown him into the ground and like had his body like that. Okay, that's everything that I read. And I literally just bought, I know I'm in the middle of reading Marriage for One, but I just ordered 2 new books that I plan to start after I'm done reading Marriage for One. And they're going to be very, very good. I just know it. And I hope I don't despise them or hate them. But that is the end of the year book tag. I have no idea what I'm going to read next year. I know I'm going to read Magnolia Park's Into the Dark. I know I'm going to read... Actually, I don't know I'm going to read, but I have a feeling I'm going to read Dune Part 2, like the book, like the second book. The UK version, obviously, because that cover is everything. And then also... I really want to reread the Matched trilogy by Ali Condi. I have the box set, like brand new. I don't know, like that trilogy is such a vibe. I am so mad, probably every day about it, that it never got turned into a movie franchise, because that movie franchise would have been so good, and I would have, like, give me the script and I'll do it for you. Like, I'll film that movie for you. I feel like I will capture the aesthetic exactly how it's supposed to be. For any of you that know that trilogy, the Matched trilogy that has Matched, Crossed, and Reached, I love the covers, I love the vibe and the story of that, and it's just like so good. Like, it makes me feel like I'm in a certain type of dystopian future that's like very aesthetic and like very cold and very like cool toned and very like cool. I don't know how to explain it, but I just like love it. It kind of gives me like the vibes of like Equals, that Kristen Stewart and what is his name? I forgot his name. Kristen Stewart is in that movie called Equals. Like that same aesthetic and vibe. I wish it was a movie, but I don't know if I'm going to reread that or not, but because I actually did forget a lot of the story, but I feel like it's just like so good, and I want to read it again, to be honest. Other than that, I don't know what else I'm going to read next year. Obviously a ton more comic books. I don't know if I'm going to do a video. No, I don't think I should do a video on my wrap up of the comic books I read. Like, there's so many single issues, so many things I read that are like physical copies and then digital copies from like the DC and Marvel app. It's just like too much. Like, the video would be like probably 2 hours long as how many comic books I read. It's just like too much. I don't know. Maybe I'll do one, but like, I don't know. I'll see you guys next year. I don't think I'm going to post another video after this, but happy holidays and have a happy new year. I'll see you guys next year.